Hello, and welcome to another video. Excuse me. Well, it's story time. It's story time. So good morning, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. Gather around, because it's story time. It's story time with New Manchester. So, I'm going to tell you guys a story, and this is true. It's American related, and it's a crazy, crazy story. It's humorous to you, to all of you. It's going to be humorous, and it's going to be kind of racist and kind of like out there. So, without further ado, let me crack open the storybook and let me begin.
We know that son's a pedophile. He couldn't even go to regular school because he's a pedophile.
Ooh.
How we know you ain't no pedophile? You had to move down here. I didn't have to go to, write a special bus because he molested and jacked off in the truck bus. Yep. Did you see him? See, now you're my house instead of yours. Yeah. See, now you're your house. Y'all need to move us in find y'all yard. You need to sit down on that baby. You just said.
Okay, I have a neighbor who lives down the street from me. And she moved into this neighborhood a long, long time ago. And she was some old lady from Oklahoma. She came to the neighborhood along with her husband. And she ran around and started telling people what to do in the neighborhood. She was going around bossing people around and harassing people. Okay, my father bought property that was across the street from her. And she saw my dad walking in front of the property and looking around the property. I don't know, and she came out and told my dad not to put a house or a trailer in front of where she lived. And she said she doesn't like living. She doesn't like nobody living close to her or across the street from her. So basically, she's dictating and telling my dad what to do. Okay, my dad tells this woman, well, if something happens to me, if I pass away, me and my wife pass away, this property is gonna belong to my children. What they do with that property is their business. Okay. Then my sister decided she wanted a trailer, so my parents helped her buy this trailer, and they put this trailer in that property, the property that my dad bought. Okay, the lady across the street just lost it, went crazy, and went up to my dad and told my dad, move that trailer oh wait, over down there. And she was harassing my dad. She just went crazy. Then she started to slander me, my mom, my sister, and my dad slandered us. And she was like yelling, and she was like yelling at the top of her lungs and saying stuff like, well, she called my father a pedophile. She called me a pedophile. Then she called my dad a pimp. Said that he was like, she said she was like pimping out my sister. This is what this crazy woman said. Then she said some crazy things about me. Saying this, I can, looks like I can mock her.
Wait, now we know the son's a pedophile. Everybody knows the son's a pedophile. And he couldn't go to regular school because he was a pedophile. And he rode a short yellow school bus. And he was jacking off on the school bus. He was jacking off on the school bus. He rode special bus. Special bus. Special bus.
And she was saying all this one day, and yeah, my cousin came over and said this. Well, how do you know he was doing that stuff on the bus? How did you know he was doing that stuff on the bus? Saying that he's saying it like how did you know he was like masturbating on the school bus? Did you know? And she said, well, he ain't living with you. He ain't living in your house. Then every day when my dad went over to look at the trailer, and she started to sing "Let's Go Brandon." Let's go, Brandon. And it was like this. Let's go, Brandon. Joblo. Let's go, Brandon. Joblo. Let's go, Brandon. Joblo. Something like that. She was like singing that, and I heard this. And my sister told me like not to go down there near that woman, and told me not to say anything to that woman. But her telling me that I was a pedophile and I couldn't go to regular school with kids my age because I was a pedophile, and I was jacking off on this school bus, this short yellow school bus that I was riding. Well, I was riding a short yellow school bus. This is like, she was bringing up stuff like when I was like going to school, and I rode that bus because, the school that I was supposed to go to, the kids there were picking on me so bad. They were very rough. They were picking on me. They were, some of the kids were throwing pens and pencil at me, and they were being real rough towards me. It was getting real bad. And I had to be taken out of the school that I was supposed to go to school to. I was taken out of that school and I went to another school. That's why I was riding that short yellow school bus. But because I had no business riding that bus anyway. But yeah, I can ride the long normal bus just like everybody else. Yeah, I have a learning disability and all, but this woman thinks I'm severely disabled, and she thinks I'm a retard. Like this is what she thinks of me. Yeah. This woman was a lunatic. Like every day, she pestered and harassed my sister, my father. Well, basically my father and my sister. She didn't. My mother just ignored her, and so did I. Me and my mother, we didn't care for her anyway. We just ignored her. But my sister and my father, they were bothered by this woman, and they were paranoid, and my dad told me, "Oh, don't look at her, don't go near her house," and like, I'm not gonna look at the woman. I'm not gonna go near her house. I'm just gonna ignore this crazy woman. And every day, like, she was like saying, "Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon." Every time my dad went down to went down to my sister's trailer, the trailer that was put in that property, that this woman, the neighbor across the street, told my dad not to put a trailer or a house in front of her, because she didn't like no one living across the street from her. She didn't like no one living next to her. And this woman was doing a lot of weird stuff, like, she was planting trees to cover up her house because she doesn't like no one looking at her. And a lot of people in the neighborhood didn't give a damn about her, didn't give a shit about her at all. And she was saying a lot of racist stuff towards me and my parents and my sister, calling us all monkeys, told us to go back to Africa. Yeah, and her saying that I was masturbating on this short yellow school bus that I was riding to when I was a teenager, when I went to school in. Said I was masturbating in it, or in her words,
he was jacking off. He was jacking off. He was jacking off.
Yeah, and I saw this woman. This woman was an old, fat ass, ugly ass, trashy, redneck woman from Oklahoma. And my sister told me, "Don't say anything to that woman." And I said, "Well, she ain't gonna say nothing to me because she think I'm a retard. I mean, in her mind, she think I'm disabled because I rode a short yellow school bus, and I rode a, as she likes to call it, special bus, special bus, special bus." Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, this woman is clinically insane. She lost her fucking mind. She's a lunatic. This woman's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, the lights are on and there's no one home. And and her husband, he's an old fart, an old redneck fart. He's chicken shit. He's a coward. And it's like this. She does all the talking. She does all the bullshit. He just sits back and says nothing. And he's a coward. And he called my dad. The crazy woman called my dad an asshole, and her chicken shit husband called my dad an asshole as well. My sister, like, she said, "Oh, that woman called my daddy an asshole. I'm gonna get in my dad's truck. I'm gonna drive down there. I'm gonna go there and choke a bitch and kick her ass." And I just sat back. I didn't say anything. All this was going on. I didn't say nothing. I just heard the woman start singing, "Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon." For any one of you who doesn't know, "Let's Go, Brandon" is, if you guys are from another country, some of you who are viewing this video are from another country, well, "Let's Go, Brandon" is a term for fuck biting. It means fuck bite, and because she's saying it because she's a conservative voter, she's a Trump voter. And she is. I think she's one of those Trump supporters, and she is. I mean, and she had the sign, "Let's Go, Brandon," stuck in the front yard of her house. And I saw that. I mean, it shows that what she is and what she's all about. Okay. Okay, every day, no, every day. On some days when my dad goes down to my sister's trailer to check, see if the water's hooked up, the electricity's hooked up, you know, she sing, "Let's go, Brandon, let's go, Brandon, Joe Blow, let's go, Brandon, Joe Blow." And this woman was like harassing workers, people who were setting up the water and electricity, and they were like her. She was harassing them. I think one of them called the police on her, and this crazy woman called my sister's trailer a low class trailer, called it a piece of shit. And I'm looking at her house. Her house looks like shit. Trees everywhere, crap all over the place, all over the house. That place is a dump. And she had the nerve to call my sister's trailer low class. Low class. And I think one of the workers heard this, and he said this: "Low class trailer." I mean, I'm looking at her house, see how her house looks. I definitely don't want to see what's inside. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was just one big shit show. And my sister recorded this crazy woman, you know, like sitting in a rocking chair, holding up a paper, giving the middle finger, you know, singing "Let's go, Brandon, let's go, Brandon." You know, I saw camera footage of my sister recording her on a camera, and it shows this fat ass, ugly ass old woman with long gray hair. She wore glasses. She wore a moo-moo dress. She was fat, ugly as hell, rocking back and forth in the chair, holding up a sign and holding up her middle finger like this, and holding up her smartphone in her other hand like this. You know, there was no sound because my sister was recording all this on a camera that has no sound on it, but she recorded the woman on her smartphone. Yeah, and the footage like shows her calling me a pedophile, said that I couldn't go to regular school with kids my age because I was a pedophile and I was jacking off on the school bus.
You were jacking off on the school bus. Jacking off on the school bus.
Yeah. All this crazy hoopla from this crazy old biddy, all of this over a trailer being put in front of her house, across the street from her house, and she just lost it. And there were some neighbors, you know. I mean, when all this crap was over, I think one day, I went to the. I ended up talking to one of my neighbors, well, who lives behind me, also lives behind my sister's trailer. It was like, I think it was a couple from Minnesota. You know, the wife, well, it was a husband and wife. The wife came out and talked to me. She said, "Oh, that woman is crazy." I mean, she was talking with a Midwestern accent. Said, "Oh, that woman is crazy. She's nuts. She's Looney Tunes." And the husband came home and he said, "Yeah, I heard that woman across the street, like, she's nuts. Like, she's going out raising hell and all of this." And then he offered, he worked for a company. Then he told me to tell my dad to go see him to buy some concrete steps for my sister's trailer. Yeah, real nice of him, but you know, the guy, you know, he was like a business guy, you know, selling shit, yakking off, you know. And one time, you know, he had the nerve to go onto the property of my house, which was my parents' house, but it's not my house now. But he walks onto the property, complain about me dumping kitty litter on his property. I was dumping kitty litter out in the woods. I think I dumped it in this creek that was next to this trail that ran through the woods. So yeah, and he's nothing but a shark. I mean, he just laying and waiting for me to lose this house that I live in, so he can go and take over and buy the house. I don't know if he still got this mindset or not, but I don't like that guy no way. Just like I don't like that lunatic woman who went crazy because she didn't want a trailer being across the street from her house. So yeah, yeah, it's wild. That woman is wild. She is a lunatic. You know, harassing workers who work for the power company and people who work for the water company, and who's setting up power and water for my sister's trailer. She was harassing them. Then I think my sister called the police and told the police, what the woman was doing. And I had that video. So I'm gonna play that video right at the end of this video. So here it is.
Yes, I am. Come on in.
What's going on?
It's my neighbor again. She won't leave anybody alone.
How you doing?
She sit there harassing the workers, harassing my daddy.
Which neighbor is it?
The one across
Straight
the street.
across?
She's
No.
one across the street, right here. This one.
Oh, Nicole. Okay.
Yeah, across. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
She been doing this ever since my trailer been down there. She told my father, and I quote, "I don't want that low class trailer there. I don't want it there." And she said that she would harass me and make it hard for me the whole time I'm gonna be there until I move.
Is that the one they're working on up there?
Yeah, that trailer right there.
Okay.
What did she tell you today, Daddy?
She said that I was pimping my daughter out.
And called us
And
pedophiles.
she called me a pedophile.
Called my brother a pedophile last week.
And she called me a pedophile.
I don't think I've met her yet.
Oh, you ain't? Well, I've got 2 films of her.
Today?
No, these are back to back.
She passing the house.
Nobody's talked to her yet. The last deputies that were out said they wouldn't bother her.
Oh, I fixed to bother her. Yeah. We fixing to bother
She's something wrong with her. She's clinically insane or something.
Cause we tired of her.
Daddy's a cop. He knows everything.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you're gonna have to wait, and I've got her on camera with her finger up in her chair rocking.
She do that all the time when she passing the house.
Now you got to look at it for a long time, but it eventually come up on her, and you can see her. And she yells, "Go, Brandon, go! Go, Brandon, go!"
We can't rest
Oh,
around
I
here for that long.
Yeah, you can hear it now.
Did something happen like a while back that made her do this?
No, she's
Or-
just insane.
Let me tell you what happened. When I first bought that property down there, they moved in after we did. And she came up to me and told me that she didn't, please don't put nothing in front of, on that lot in front of me. And I
I
told her,
guess that was the threat then.
yeah, and I told her, I said, well, that belongs to my children. If they want to put something there, it's their business. So when I brought that trailer in, she got in the middle of the street and she screamed and yelled at me and told me to move that trailer over there.
Telling folks to go back to Africa.
And then she told me to go back to Africa and call my kids monkeys.
And our husband calls us assholes.
Yeah. You know, being a cop, I just wanted to go there, just put the handcuffs on that drag that right down the street. Yeah.
Gets on my
I'd
nerves.
rather her be in trouble. She do this often?
Yes.
All the time. You
All
can't
the
even
time.
walk down the
If I
road.
Sunday.
Well, she see your car, your unit there now.
Yeah.
But if I was walking down the street and you wasn't here, she'd start up.
Sunday afternoon, I came down to my house to put some plates in there. She waited just a good. She looks out the window. She's watching you.
Down there, she calls
As soon
us
as
names.
I got come out of my house, she's in front of the window, her door, going like
Yes,
this.
sir. She passed our house
She
doing
drive
that.
back past the house. She
Doing that
flipped up
same
the
thing.
bird.
Have you seen her yet?
Yeah, I see her.
Mm.
Technically, she's allowed to yell from her porch, but I mean, she's getting a little over the top with it. And we ain't gone over there yet or talked to them.
No.
No, I think nobody
You
can
can talk to them.
Yeah. Get ready.
How long ago was this one?
This was last week. This was Thursday last week.
Gotcha. Did we come out for this one?
No. That's the newest. And here goes this other one. This time my cousin was out there. He was in the yard. He's got a garden behind. She's talking about my brother.
Is that her or is that? Oh, that's her. Oh, there she is. I can't believe I've never been out here for her before.
Yeah.
Does she come into the road at all?
No, she's smart enough
Yeah.
not to come into the road.
What, the
Now,
first
one day
time-
she did come. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, the first time she came, she followed me all the way up to the corner of this house here.
It's gonna play over and over.
And it's just because y'all putting in that trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, my antenna went up. If you don't want, you got to be hiding something. Something is
She's
wrong.
got delusions of grandeur. That's for sure. She don't own nothing.
You know, look her up a little bit before I go and talk to her.
Okay.
I'm surprised we've never. There's gotta be something. We don't go over and talk to her today. If she keeps this up,
Mm-hmm.
we might be able to push some kind of harassment charge on her. But
Yeah, right now she's being smart.
well, it's bordering on it to where we might be able to do something. But we've got to talk to her first. And tell
But
her
what
not
she's
to.
yelling out about my brother, that's slander. He has no record.
Yeah.
And half the neighborhood's listening to this mess.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure neighbors don't appreciate it either. But yeah, I mean, you're doing the right thing for Gordon, that's for sure. Most people don't, then we have to start from square one. But,
No, I got, like I said, I got her.
well, let's go talk to her so we can come up with
Okay.
something first.
Get yourself ready.
Yeah.
She probably went through nothing.
No, she ain't seen that.
No, but he seen on video. That's the thing.
Okay, in that video, yeah, you heard what my sister was saying, all the things I just said before that video. Yeah, yeah, she was like slandering and like saying a lot of stuff, calling me a pedophile, calling my dad a pedophile, and then he called my dad a pimp. Said he was like pimping out my sister. And she called us, me, my dad, my sister, my mom, she called us all monkeys and told us to go back to Africa. No, wait, man. Yeah, wait, I think that's wrong. Like, yeah, she said that she called me and my sister monkeys and told my entire family to go back to Africa. So that was pretty racist, but the part of her saying it, I was like, said I was a pedophile, and I was like, and I couldn't go to regular school, and I rode a short yellow school bus or special bus as she says it. I couldn't go to regular school with kids my age because I was a pedophile and I was jacking off on the school bus. So the masturbating on the school bus thing was pretty funny. And you know, and going back to what she's saying, calling me a pedophile. How can I be a pedophile? How can I be a pedophile? And I'm being around, I'm going to school with people my own age. And I rode a short yellow school bus because because I'm a pedophile. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make no sense at all. It makes little to no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Like, in order for me to be I was a teenager. How can I be a pedophile if I was a teenager? Like, and I'm around kids my own age. I mean, a pedophile is someone who's sexually attracted to children, and he want to do sexual things to a child. And if I was a pedophile, I would be living in the neighborhood that I'm living in right now, because in this neighborhood there's kids here. I wouldn't be near any children. I'll have to register as a sex offender, and I have to live far, far away from children. I can't live near children or a school that they attend. So, what this woman was saying makes absolutely no sense. And she just some whacked out conservative voting, let's go Brandon chanting, American flag waving, trashy, fat ass, ugly, redneck piece of garbage. That's basically what she is. And you know, there's a lot of things that are going on in this country. A lot of things, a lot of problems that's going on in this country. Income inequality, no universal health care. You know, people work longer hours for less pay. People being treated like crap at corporate jobs. You know, in the Amazon union thing blew up along with Bernie Sanders. I heard about that. You got people like this stupid woman going around doing stupid shit and pestering black people who she doesn't want them living across the street from her, and she goes crazy because she don't want no one living next to her or across the street from her. And she's like watching me and my parents and my sister like hawks, like for years and years and years and years. Like, you know, and it's just kind of weird, like talking about how we are, you know. And it's funny, when my dad passed out over an artery blockage, he passed out. And it was real hot outside. This woman and her husband, this crazy redneck biddy and her chicken shit husband, did absolutely nothing. They just sit there and watch it and walk over to help. Other people, neighbors across the street, went to help. I went to help. This woman and her husband did absolutely nothing. And she hate our guts because she hate me and my family's guts because we have nice things that she doesn't have. And she's jealous and racist. And you know, like I said before, I don't give a damn about this woman because, you know, she's not going to say anything to me. She's going to say something to my father and my sister, but she ain't going to say anything to me. Because why? Because to her, I'm a retard because, you know, I have a learning disability. I'm disabled. She look at me and like she views me as a retard and she ain't going to say anything to me. I walked to my sister's trailer and she was outside, sitting in a rocking chair, said absolutely nothing to me. Why? This is why. I'm Officer Doofy. I'm Officer Doofy. I'm Officer Doofy. I pooped in my pants. I pooped in my pants. That's what she thinks of me. and my paranoid ass sister and my father think that I'm gonna talk to this woman. And I'm not gonna say anything to this woman. I'm just like my mom. My mom ignores her and doesn't give a damn about her. And I'm just like my mom. I don't give a damn about her either. So, yeah, you know, you see, not to all of you, some of you who live in another country, you see why how effed up the United States is. The United States has tons and tons of problems. People are just crazy and whacked out of their minds. People are paranoid and cliquish, antisocial, closed off, standoffish, crazy, weird. They work all the time. I mean, the adults are, it's like this. The adults are normal. The adults are crazy, excuse me. The adults, men and women, grown men, grown women are crazy, paranoid, fearful of strangers. And the children are the opposite. They're normal. They're not paranoid, they're not crazy. But I could be wrong. It's like in America, the children are normal, they're sociable, they're normal, they can get along with one another, some of them, the children, but the adults are crazy. The adults are out there. The adults, along with the teenagers, are crazy. They're Looney Tunes. That's all, folks. Yeah. I don't know what to say. That woman's a lunatic. My neighbor down the street is a racist lunatic. And I'm saying to myself, okay, if you don't want to live across the street from anybody, move. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't do that. You voted for Trump. You voted for Republicans. You voted for people who don't give a shit about you. You voted for those people. So you can't go anywhere. So you're going to go around and dictate and tell people what to do in the neighborhood. You have no business telling people what to do in a neighborhood. And you're going to have the nerve to have the American flag. This woman's going to have the American flag. A flag. My dad served in the military. He's a Vietnam vet. He served in the Vietnam War. He was a Marine. You don't have the nerve to have this. You don't have the nerve to have the Stars and Stripes, Old Glory, flying in the front yard of your house. A flag that my dad risked his life and nearly died over in a shitty war in the 1960s. And you want to go around dictating people, telling people what to do. Hey, we live in the United States. We're all about freedom. And those crazy ass lunatic, hardcore American patriot motherfuckers who shout at the top of their lungs and waving the American flag, freedom, 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 full freedom. You don't believe in that. You don't go around telling people what to do. So I guess freedom doesn't apply to black people like me, my family, right? But it applies to you, a white person. It applies to you. Shit. If you want to go around and tell someone where to live and where they should live, shit. The U.S. should have stayed loyal to the crown as the 13 British colonies hugging the east coast of North America in the 1770s. Avoid the American Revolutionary War, never go through it, and just stay loyal to the crown, the British crown, and become part of Commonwealth, and You can go around and dictate and tell people what to do. Like, oh my God, like, this country is fucked up. I mean, yeah, that, and again, that woman is a lunatic. And you know, my parents told me that, you know, she has a gun. I think my sister told me she had a gun. And furthermore, the police, the two cops that came into the house in that video that you just saw, when they left, my sister saw that the one of the deputies, which was a young Mexican guy, he got angry because that woman was saying something racist towards him, and she probably was calling him a wetback or a beaner, something like that. He was pissed off. He was mad. You know. I was kind of offended and sickened when she called me and my sister monkeys. Told us to go back to Africa along with my parents. Like, how can I go back to a place that I wasn't even born in? Yeah, my ancestors came from Africa on slave ships and brought here to North America to be enslaved. Me and every black person in America are descendants of those people. America is my home, and it is, but America, well, the North American continent was originally the home of indigenous people, the Native Americans, which their land was stolen from white colonists. So yeah, I watched one of Dog G's videos, and he said this at the end of one of his videos. He said this: if someone tells you to go back to Africa, some racist white person tells you to go back to Africa, tell them to go back to Europe. Yeah, Dog G got it right, but the motherfucker lost his mind and he blocked me. So you know what? I agree with him. The old Dog G. Not this new asshole Midtown motherfucker. Not him. So fuck Dog G. Fuck that crazy woman. Fuck all these groups here in America. Because I don't have anything to do with anybody, any group in the United States. So, yeah, but going back to that woman saying that I was masturbating on the school bus, jacking off on the school bus, I just can't get over that. I'm just laughing my ass off at this. Yeah, that crazy woman was just saying all that stuff just to get to us, just to get to me, my sister, my father. And my mom, my dad, my sister, my father, and myself. Like, she's trying to get to us by saying all that stuff, all the slander, all the nonsense, all the BS. She's just saying all of that just to get to us, just to make us mad so we can go start swinging at her, start attacking her. Then she goes around and call the police and get us on a charge. And we end up doing jail time, and that will ruin us, and we'll probably lose the trailer will be moved away, and she'll be happy. That's all it is. She's just trying to get to us, but it backfired. It didn't work because it's bothering my sister and my father. It's bothering them, but it's not bothering me and my mom, because me and my mom, we don't give a shit. We don't. Because I don't care about that woman. Like, I was outside when she said all this crazy stuff about my family. Like, she's like singing, "Let's go, Brandon, let's go, Brandon." Like, yeah, she must be in sync with those Trump supporters. I mean, she had the "Let's Go, Brandon" sign posted in the front yard of her house. She has the American flag flying in front of her house. I mean, yeah. It's like, to people like her, I guess freedom is basically is for them, and it's not for people who aren't white like her. And this was fun. There's some black people in this neighborhood who are complete Uncle Toms. They went and started kissing her ass. It was a woman and her son. I went to school with her son. Her son. Yeah, it was a black woman and a black man. I mean, the black man is her son, and I went to school with him. And this guy was gay, and he picked on me when I went to school. Him, his sisters, and his brother. Well, him and his sisters picked on me. And they're like simping to this woman and kissing her ass. And they have no idea that this woman said racist stuff to me, my sister, my father and my mom, calling us all monkeys and telling us to go back to Africa. Well, those Uncle Toms have no idea that what this racist woman that they're going up and talking to, like they were talking to her in the neighborhood. I saw this. I was in my house. I looked out the door and saw this black man and this black woman talking to the crazy woman and her chicken shit husband. And like, wow, like this woman called me, my mom, my dad, and my sister monkeys and told us to go back to Africa. Saying racist stuff to us. And that doesn't just affect me. It affects them. It affects every black person in America. Just like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. I mean, when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, he slapped every African American in the U.S. And Dog G made a video just calling this guy a simp, calling Will Smith a simp, like, it affects him too, but he acts like it doesn't, but it does. But that guy can go fuck himself. Yeah. I mean, and this woman who's the mother of this black guy tries to pick at my sister because she's jealous because of her and her and the family. Her and her, they're jealous. Well, she's jealous. Well, I think she's jealous of what my sister has. She tried to pick at my sister. And I'm just gonna say this. I don't give a damn about people being jealous of what other people have. It's just childish. I don't give a damn what you have. I don't care. I don't. I don't care what you have. You can have the nicest car, you can have the nicest house. It doesn't make me jealous. And I really don't care. I'll just say, hey, that's a nice house. That's a nice place. I'll just move on. I'm not going to just be jealous and go and try to pick on someone and trash their car and by throwing eggs at their car and all this crazy shit because I'm jealous and picking on them. I'm not going to do that shit because I got time for that. Yeah, speaking of eggs being thrown at a car, I was a victim of this. There were some people who I went to school with, and they threw eggs at my car because they were jealous because I got a new car. And these were black people, by the way. These black people who pick on other black people, who give black people shit. They got to remember one thing. When it comes to racism in America towards racist white people onto black people, that goes to all the Uncle Toms. every black person, like, you know, we're in the same boat. We're all getting treated like shit. Our ancestors went through slavery. We went through this shit. We have. Yeah. We have. So we have. So you know, there's nothing I can do about it. You know, black people gonna start treating other black people like crap. There's nothing I can do about it. All I can do is just get out of this country, move overseas. Okay, that's all I gotta say in this video. This video is pretty long, so someone complained, said, "Oh, your videos are too long." I said, "Well, fuck you. It's my channel. I can do whatever the hell I want. If my videos are long, boring, and dreadful, don't watch them anymore." You know, someone who tells you what to do on your channel and complain about your videos being long, and that's all they complain about. They have no argument. There's a bunch of just someone who's just stupid, who has a disability, who doesn't know any better. And these people make shitty videos anyway. So that's all I got. So that's all I gotta say. Hope you guys enjoyed this crazy story. All right. Au revoir. Merci beaucoup.